You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week. Featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Dario Kristen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I am your host, Dario Kristen, and here joining me is Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody? I just ate my microphone.
DJ Jesse J.
What up?
You're looking super slender today, man.
I know. He's
Courtney, why are we matching?
Oh my God, we have the same color.
Me and Courtney are coordinating with each other.
No, we have burgundy on the bottom.
Wow, and you're matching the microphones, too.
Yes.
You're all Black Hollywood Live today. But our special guest today who is dancing next to me, she's Hayley Gripp. She is an actress, she's a model, and she is a anti-bully advocate.
Yo, yo, yiggity, yo.
Thank you for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You are in for an exciting show. This is a bunch of crazy people on this show, so we like to have a good time on a Friday.
Me too.
All right, so today's show will include a variety of topics, including Beyonce is named the highest paid female in music.
There's a surprise.
Yeah.
Are we really surprised by that?
Surprise.
But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Chris Brown has another meltdown on Instagram. And BET founder Bob Johnson had just started a new urban movie channel. UMC.
Interesting.
All right, but first I want to read the results from last week's buzzer meter question, which was, would you get your eye color changed? We talked about that a lot because Tiny, who is T.I.'s wife or baby's mama, are they legally married? They're legally married?
Yeah.
So she got her eyes changed.
Yeah.
You know,
Look, she's been getting slagged. They be
I know.
pictures of her next to pit bulls talking about red noses, 250.
That is the wife.
She got a lot of slack for changing her pupils.
Yeah.
And
That was weird.
And you guys voted, and apparently when you were asked, would you get an eye color change? 79% of you said no, and 21% of you said yes.
It's kind of scary.
I think when you start doing like surgery for your eye color to change, it's super scary.
I'm glad that more people are against it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be in the middle, to be honest with you.
How do you feel about it?
How do you feel about it?
I
Would
mean,
you do it?
although I'm not, for it, I do respect, people want to do what makes them feel good. And if they're happy and it makes them happy,
Then why?
why not?
I mean, I hear
There you
you.
go.
I'm not trying to judge. I just think it's just a surgery that sounds painful. Maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Sounds
but
painful. I'm sure it's a little bit of pain.
Well, behind our eye pigments, if for instance, I have brown eyes, but they lean more towards hazel, which means I have green underneath. So if I would have the surgery, I would have green, not blue.
Yeah.
Because you take off like the outer layer of your cornea.
Oh, wait. That sounds like a different surgery than what weird.
Yeah, because hers was an implant.
Yeah, hers is
So they
a-
were putting in,
an
because she
implant.
went from like brown to ice.
to like ice
Blue.
gray
It
or
was like
blue.
ice gray.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like too much work.
She changed her
Never mind.
thought about it
I
real quick.
All that.
I
She's like, I'll
changed
take it
my
back.
opinion. That's
She
too
changed her
much.
opinion real quick.
You are doing the most, Tiny.
Yeah.
You are doing the most.
Yeah, I changed my opinion.
Well, I'll say that you agree with the 79% of the no. Then.
Yeah,
That's what we'll take.
I
from
make
that.
it 80%.
Okay.
All right, so we want you guys to also vote for today's buzzer meter question, which is, do you think reality TV is a culprit in the destruction of the modern
That's
world?
the best question ever.
That is the best question ever, and we know what that's stemming from. Spike Lee, which we'll talk about a little bit later. He has some things to say about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but we'll go in a little bit later on that. But first, we have trending topics with DJ Jesse J.
Yes, so Beyonce has been in the news all damn year.
Yes, she has.
And she finished her tour. And she's still in the news. So Beyonce is not only going to be dropping her packaged album, which does not feature Rihanna, ladies and gentlemen. Told you that was never going to happen.
But that was a good rumor, though.
That was not
Damn
that was a horrible rumor. That was not going to happen. Anyways, but positive note, Beyonce has been named 2014's Forbes top earning woman in music. Congratulations. She's doubled her earnings from last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
She ended up with
That's impressive. I'd like to know her secret.
$1 million.
Tours.
$115 million.
She came in
Wow.
number 1. Taylor Swift came number 2 with $64 million. Pink with $52
I
million.
love that Pink is up there in
Me
the top
too.
3. I love it.
I'm like, what's she doing?
It's because people, like, her fans are consistent and they will go see her shows because she's always great.
And she's a great
Yeah.
performer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then followed is Rihanna with $48 million, Katy Perry with $40 million. So, I mean, you better do
Doing
that.
real nice, real nice.
I mean, Beyonce, what she was doing is she had a fragrance line, she had the H&M sponsorship, the Pepsi deal, the tour.
The tour.
She had 2
alone,
tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 tours.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just doing
She's got
it.
the cosmetic
working her
contracts.
butt
She's
off.
working it.
She's working it, cosmetic.
So-
and don't sleep on, doesn't she still got the fashion line? It's just more her mom is.
I don't know. Well, we won't talk about House of Dorian,
Okay.
but she is doing a line with Topshop that's
Okay.
coming.
That's
soon,
what, yeah,
so,
that's what I thought. Something with Top Shop.
She's in
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Topshop.
So
But she's go
she's
ahead.
out there.
I was gonna say she still didn't beat Madonna
Yeah.
though. They say that Madonna in 2013 made $125 million. They said she's still at the top
Well,
tier.
Madonna's got 20 years on it
Yeah.
worth of
Yeah.
products.
I mean,
and
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna
material.
compare 125 to 115, and they're she's
Hell, they all rich.
They're
So-
rich.
And
Yeah.
But Madonna has old money.
Yeah.
Like, Madonna been doing it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
She built her empire over.
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
So she's just sitting back collecting checks.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Residuals. and
Yeah.
So my thing, Beyonce, is release this package CD and please don't do another tour.
I don't think she
Come
needs to
on,
tour
I don't.
again.
just don't want
This is Beyonce. Beyonce is going to tour. Are
She's
you
gonna
kidding me?
tour again.
You
I mean,
really
she's
think so?
Superwoman. I
Absolutely.
mean, she does it all.
Sure.
I think she wants to just get it all out her system
Yeah.
while she still can.
Yeah.
And then she just gonna go sit down somewhere on an island and just be like, I don't know who y'all are, and just be
Well,
naked.
you know, and also after watching that documentary that she had on HBO, I feel like her juices are always just kind of flowing. Like
Yeah.
her, you know, she always has her creative juices and wanting to change things up. And so I think that she gets antsy by doing the old stuff a lot of times. So
Yeah.
she always has to reinvent herself and
stuff.
keep
Yeah.
it going. And that's why the tours come along. I think you were going to say something, Hayley.
Well, I mean, now is the prime time for her to do it too because she has little Blue Ivy, and you know, before she gets in school and whatnot, she's got like
Exactly.
another 3 years to really crank it out. So I think in the next 3 years, she's just gonna keep
Keep going, keep
multiplying
going.
herself.
That makes perfect sense because
Yeah.
as soon as she's in school, she seems like she's gonna want to
Yeah,
settle
you know,
somewhere so
I mean,
that she can be in
I
school
feel
and
like you know
normal.
she'll want to have her grounded, and
Yeah.
I mean, of
Yeah.
course, I'm guessing Blue Ivy's a little diva too. In a positive way, I say that. In a positive way, very cute, but.
How can you
Well-
not be a diva when your mom is Beyonce?
Beyonce.
I would
and
Yeah.
be
Jay-Z?
walking around just
Princess
like
B.
that.
I'd be
Yeah.
around singing it.
Right, I was thinking.
Tossing my little baby fro around.
Well, so we're going to switch it up a little bit right now. In Illinois, there was 4 students and a substitute teacher. And apparently the substitute teacher had called the girls African American, and the girls said, you know, could you please not call us that? We kind of feel disrespected that you're calling us by that. The substitute said, well, I mean, that's the politically correct term to use. She said back in the day, you guys would be considered, and then you dropped the N-word. Apparently, the class was 80 minutes long, and she had used the N-word multiple times within the classroom. The girls were very upset. They went, obviously, to speak to a teacher about it. And they said, we were so shocked, and we were like, well, what's that? That's not correct to call us that. Well, back then, that's what African Americans were called. The teacher used the word over a bunch of times. When reached out for a comment from the superintendent said, we're finding that an awful lot of the accounts on the specific words and actions are extremely inconsistent. So it's very hard for us to judge this situation. We're proud of the kids. We want them to be able to come to administrators and teachers to speak about these issues of not feeling safe and secure. But we are not having the substitute back because the substitute attempted to teach a lesson outside of the curriculum, and we do not authorize that.
So the teacher was trying to teach a lesson that if I would have called you an N-word, but I'm calling you African American, so you should be happy? Like, is that what the lesson was?
Right, that's what I was like. When I read it, I was a little confused by that statement.
teacher.
I don't think that word should ever be used.
Thank
It's
you.
like one of those words that should not be
Just
a word.
let's erase it, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how the conversation of the substitute speaking to 4 individuals and calling them African Americans, like, turned into a situation?
Yeah.
Like, where in the classroom
When
would
did
that
it turn?
Where did
Yeah.
it turn
Well,
into-
apparently the girls were-
African Americans in the back. Like,
I read another article about it that said the girls were saying, "Hey, don't call me African American because we're not of African descent."
Right,
and
they're
I guess
Jamaican.
that pissed off the teacher a little bit, who clearly had some racial
Issues.
going on.
Why do we
And-
need to label people in general?
Oh, here, we
Uh-oh,
had
well,
that conversation.
We had that conversation about 2 weeks ago. You should
What do
check
you- how
out
do you
this
feel about
week
it?
on like October 3rd or 10th,
Yeah,
one
it
of those
was
dates.
Raven Simone not
Raven
wanting
Simone
to
was
be
the subject
labeled.
about not being labeled. Are you part of the non-labeling millennials that
Yes.
believe in that?
Yes, I
Interesting.
definitely feel like we can create ourselves as individuals, and as other people around us, we should kind of support that, because creative, it's very important to embrace everybody's individuality. And when we stick them in a certain group or criteria, oftentimes it's actually hard to come out of that.
very true.
Fair
That's
assessment.
Fair assessment. A lot of people
assessment.
have a problem with that just because of the fact that they feel like eventually, with that type of mentality, that there won't be any defining on
Yeah.
what race is
Exactly.
anymore. So,
Well,
Wait,
we
bring
had a
that
whole
conversation
conversation about this with some friends of mine in New York about race actually not existing at all. Race is actually a social construct. Ethnicity exists.
that's a good
But
point.
the idea of black and white is sort of established to place something above something else and to make the other side not as important or as specific, because generally we don't do that anywhere else. If you see a Chinese person, you don't call them yellow. Yes, of course, they have been in the past. That's been used derogatorily,
Sure.
etc. But in general, you call somebody from China Chinese. You call someone from Korea Korean. You don't pick out, you're red, you're yellow, you're purple, you're this, you're that. It just seems it's an interesting idea that it mainly exists black and white.
I love that
And there is a
conversation.
very specific reason why that exists.
That's
So
very
maybe
true.
the idea of being labeled as black and white is not really something we should be doing at all.
Well, only time will tell, I guess.
Maybe I
Yeah.
should just be a Georgian transplant to Los Angeles.
That's
How about
your label,
that?
girl.
And that's my label.
You're just
That's
an
who
American.
you are. That's
That's
authentic
who
to
I
you.
am.
You're just an American.
There you go.
All right.
Well, all right. Moving on from that, Spike Lee
Oh,
and
Lord.
Real Housewives of Now, I'm trying to figure out who's getting the PR from this, because
They
Real
both
Housewives
are.
comes back next week. So is Spike Lee trying to get like in the news because of it?
Possibly. Because
So-
Real Housewives is back on Sunday, y'all.
Show is. So Spike Lee was doing an interview, and he asked the audience how many people watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, and some of them put their hands up, and he
You
knew-
should have never done it.
Right.
Spike Lee is in the room, he gonna yell at you.
And he did, and he went on there to say this. The show is bringing about the destruction of the modern world. I don't care who you are. If you're African American in this country, you know what the deal is. The deal is that you're black. The people that get in trouble and the people that forget they're black. You can't just think that I'm so successful, that I've reached another realm, that I'm in the so-called post-racial America. That's bullshit. Because now we have a black president, race no longer matters. All for Real
A
Housewives.
really broad.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of, that was a broad
massive
statement.
argument.
Yeah. I thought his argument could have been a little bit more defined. A
I
little bit.
know, you know what I
Little
mean?
bit.
I mean, here's the thing.
I get what he's saying.
I did too, because we talked about Bobby Shmurda, this rapper, and Dr. Boyce Watkins, and he feels that, these rappers coming up are, white supremacists are going to take over using these young black males. And so I understand the idea of it. But my thing is why do people put so much power into it? You're putting the power into it. I can watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I walk away from watching Real Housewives of Atlanta knowing I'm not acting like anything
Yeah,
on
but
this
see,
show.
I hear
that's
you,
the
but here's the
problem,
problem though. You're
Yeah.
an adult, and there are teenagers
I mean,
and,
I get it. I do the Bad
youthful
Girls
people.
After Show and After so.
But no, there are younger generations of people who are watching that show, and they consider that the norm of how a person or a woman should act. So that's the problem. You as an adult who's had history.
But why is that Real Housewives of Atlanta's fault? Why
I
isn't
think he
that...
was just pulling that
No, I know.
example because he was amongst brown people,
Right.
and he's speaking to us specifically because we're always in that lane where you have to be twice as good as the other side just to be seen as close to being equal. So the idea that Real Housewives of Atlanta is so successful with them being such disastrous, it's almost like it takes away the success because you're
It's
doing
trash.
it for like trashy, horrible reasons, and we have to work so hard to be so much better all the time, so that we're perceived in a different way. So that's a constant like tension among the black community, so to speak. But for him, like initially, like it's kind of insulting for him to say it's going to bring about the destruction of the modern world, because
that's a little bit extreme.
As much as I see both sides, like there's obviously people that are watching it that are being way too influenced by reality television. At the same time, I would like to believe that there's enough intelligent minds that watch it for entertainment purposes. Yes, I'm one of the people that watches Real Housewives of Atlanta, but it is not going to destroy my life or the lives of my children or anything else, because I'm intelligent enough to not let that happen. So,
and intelligent enough to educate those around you. Like, Courtney, when you're around Courtney, you're going to absorb her energy. She's not going to put that out there.
You're not going to be seeing me slapping chicks across the table and flipping tables.
You better not.
And whatnot. I might have a moment with a little hand or something, but you're not going to see me coming out
Get that Johnny Walker Black.
I'm not going to come out my Jesus to be somebody crazy, but I get it. Like, there are definitely people that, I mean, it's not the greatest influence on our young women, so to speak.
And, I think that also non-African Americans see this and they think that that's how all African Americans act. So,
can I comment on
absolutely.
that?
We want to hear
because I completely disagree. I mean, being very fair Caucasian, I can honestly say that out of like my handful of really close friends, I have a tight circle of friends, I can say that more than half are actually black. And
we just did an article like not 4 weeks ago about white people needing black friends and only having like one out of their match. So it's awesome that
you
that
messed up
exists
the statistic.
For me, the way that I look at it, I don't really care what you look like. It's all about if you have a good heart and if you're going to be positive and, bring me up instead of bring me down, because I only surround myself with positive people. So if you're a friend that I can rely on and stuff, then you get the benefits of, being my friend. I'm being the amazing chef and all, you're going to get that aspect too. But what it comes down to is I also believe that watching reality television, whether it's the Real Housewives of Atlanta or of New Jersey or the Kardashians or whatnot, it's a choice that you make. And it doesn't define, oh, I want to act this way or I approve of their behavior. I honestly watch it because it makes me feel kind of good about myself. I mean, I'm not off the rocker. I'm like a little crazy. I love to have fun, and I'm like the spice in people's life, but I'm not.
Spice in people's life.
I know. With the ginger hair and everything.
Ginger hair and those red lips, girl.
Yeah, but I mean, what it comes down to is it's kind of like everything in life. It's a choice, and we don't always know the reason why people make that choice, but we can't. I mean, it's kind of like you have to want to not watch it or want to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no in between unless you're channel surfing and you end up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead. No, I was going to say, I love that answer, but unfortunately, you're from LA, right? And that's not the unfortunate part. The unfortunate part is that I think LA and growing up in culture here, you have an opinion about that, and your viewpoint is strong with what your environment is like. But if you're a young kid, a white kid, for example, in Ohio or in Idaho, and you're watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta, not just Housewives of Atlanta, all the other reality shows, and you're not around a lot of African Americans, and you see that show, you can't tell me you're not gonna have some type of feel or think that that's the way majority of us act. Well, so that's why I can feel what Spike Lee's saying. I don't agree with it all the way around, but I do agree that reality TV has screwed some things up.
It screws some stuff up, but I think it's all about balance. Like, in the end, I feel there's room for ratchetness on TV, and there's room for great TV. And and as a country that is supposed to believe in freedom and all of that, like, there has, to me, as much as I would be like, oh, that's horrible for the kids and that, like, in the end, it deserves to exist based on the premise of what we've decided this country is about. Sure. And as long as there is balance, then I'm good. I think there is balance. You just have to actually seek it out. Even though it feels like reality TV's kind of taken over the world, it's not really. I mean, it's not taken over.
You don't think so?
No, it is not.
You can't even hardly get regular TV programs now. They're all reality TV.
That's because that's what you're looking for.
Have you checked what cable you purchased?
No, what I'm saying is, like, if you look at cable, a lot of these shows have been replaced by reality TV. That's a true statement.
But the idea that reality, I wish we had actual statistics statistics, but so I can't speak statistically. But from and I watch a lot of TV from like Downton Abbey to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, so I watch a range of type of television, and it doesn't appear to me that it doesn't exist, that there is good scripted television that is great entertainment that you can watch and feel good about, as well as horrible reality television.
I actually have a comment on what you're saying. I completely agree, but I also think that reality TV exists for a reason. You watch it because you're not thinking. Not that you're, it's like, it's a way that you can zone out.
It's relaxing.
But when you're watching something, like CSI or Madam Secretary or Downtown Abbey, you really get involved in the show. And usually the people who watch these shows are people who follow them, who know the characters, know the backstory, and they're very much, they look forward to it weekly. So I can say that reality TV is really good when you want to turn your mind off, because a lot of times, sometimes people can't turn their minds off. So it's just a way, it's an outlet.
See, I agree with that to an extent. My thing is with our sister channel, AfterBuzz TV. I like to do a lot of reality TV, and I've kind of switched over to reality TV because I think, like I said, it's responsibility. And I feel like if you watch reality TV hits certain points, educational points, if you turn it into that, of things that aren't being spoken about in certain TV shows that are getting out to a certain demographic. And so my thing is, instead of Spike Lee, you trying to bash it, I would come on AfterBuzz and talk about an episode and let's walk through it and talk about,
figure out what you can take from it.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, these people are living lives, and as long as you understand that they're living in a facade of what
their story
actual reality TV is, because it's like, I look at these kids and they think like, oh, having fun is going to get drinks every day, having lunch, spending money, and you can only meet people in doing this, or you have to have the top phone and things like that. I don't know, like, it's just, for me, with reality TV, I feel like there's positive points, but we've put so much negative into the fighting, we put so much on that, and that's what gives us ratings, instead of someone being bold and saying, like, what's his name, Run DMC show. Here's a reality show that's not bad. It's not, it's family, it's home, it's...
Run's house.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a way of looking at it, and I feel like it's also your parents' job to be able to explain this isn't really real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, there's a fine line. I just think it's like, there's TV shows out there you can sit there and say, that's trash, too, to be putting it on. There's scripted TV shows.
That's true.
That's true, too. I just feel like there's a good number of people who are watching reality shows and feel like that's the reality. I think that's why we have so many problems in society with certain things now. You have more girl on girl fighting. You have, just a lot of issues that are shown on reality TV that I think sometimes it's hard for people to decipher between what's real and what is not real.
Because, they blame it on video games. They say, that video games make people want to run around and shoot people. They blame it on these action...
But there's an element to that I think is the truth. I think that this is partly true for young kids who are shooting games and playing games, and it can make them...
So anything in excess is not good for anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
To say the reality TV is destroying the world, no, our excessive consumption of it is destroying these people, not the fact that it exists alone. So I don't know.
So I'm not going to hate on it, so please check us out over at AfterBuzzTV.com, because Real Housewives of
Atlanta
is coming back.
We'll be talking about it on Monday.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I'm going to bring some statistics next week on
how many shows versus
how many actual TV shows.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jesse, for the trending topics. We're going to move on to gossip and rumors with Courtney Stewart.
Ooh, juicy, my favorite
Ratchet
time.
to ratchet.
Ratchet to ratchet. Okay, I'm gonna have to get my real good eyes out because I typed this way too small. Okay, so for those of you who've been under a rock, well, Chris Brown was not, and he was out in full effect on Instagram this week, guys. So he got real upset with Miss Tamar Braxton and Miss Adrienne Bailon. For those of y'all that don't know who that is, they host the show The Reel. And apparently on an episode of The Reel this week, conversation about Chris Brown and his boo, Karrueche. I assume they're together still right now? Like, whatever. They're always off and on. But anyway, so they're talking about why Karrueche is still with Chris and how could she continue to date him, blah, blah, blah. So Adrienne and Tamar basically said Chris is not a good guy, and the only reason Karrueche is still with him is basically because she and her friends enjoy the fame. That was the basic premise of what they said. Okay.
She brought the friend into it.
She did.
And the friends.
She
She
did.
said, and her friends, they like the fame. Okay, so, of course, Chris Brown got wind of this. I don't know if he was sitting around watching the reel, like, what happened, but he got real upset and decided to go on Instagram and talk about it. So, first, he addressed Miss Adrienne Bailon, and I'm going to read verbatim what he said, and I apologize in advance for the hot mess that comes out of my mouth. Okay, so... Chris Brown to Adrienne Bailon on Instagram. Brown ranted, Adrienne Bailon, you old trout mouth ass B. You tried it. Won't you the same B that was effing with married men? You was also keeping up with the Kardashians. You can't talk about relationship goals when you don't even have life goals. Ain't you a cheater girl? Last time you was important, Negroes, and that's not what he said, were riding spinners and wearing 6X talk tees. You was the same B having threesomes like the rest of these hoes. And then he decided to also address Tamar. And he goes a little something like this. You tried it too, Tamar Braxton. You take the role of the ugly sister. It's always the people with no career that talk the shit. That plastic surgery, your face is fucked up, bitch. You look like, she always saying, huh? Muppet face ass.
Okay, Tamar does look low-key kind of give him
Okay,
up.
he has no respect. I'm almost speechless, but not speechless because I talk a lot. But I just feel like, first of all, I mean, they kind of... Anytime you go on a talk show and something and you're critical of somebody's lifestyle or you criticize something, there is going to be, backlash or whatnot if they catch wind of it. I mean, who knows? Maybe Chris Brown is at home during the day and not in the studio and he's in his fuzzy slippers watching the reel. We don't know. And frankly, I don't think I'd want to know what he does during the day. But I can say that, I'm an actress and a model, and I'm around a lot of these people in the industry a lot. And, I mean, you can point out right away between a groupie and, someone who is doing their own thing. And one thing I can say in defense about Chris Brown's on-off girlfriend, whatnot, is that she does have a modeling career. So in that aspect, she's not just some hot piece of ass, excuse my French, some hot piece of ass that is clinging to him. She is doing her own thing. But the fact that I just think that somebody should get a piece of duct tape and duct tape Chris
his mouth
or his fingers. I mean, maybe that sounds a little harsh. Maybe you know what we should all have? We should all have the month of December should be Chris Brown free of social media.
Yeah, maybe you need to take a break.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Tamar
or not
did
for the
respond.
entertainment. Or not. Yeah.
Just so you know, Tamar did respond. She wrote out a really long hashtag that basically said, hashtag when your girl has a talk show instead of crying about you while you on one. And then she warned him to not come at grown women with the sort of language that he used. And then Chris Brown yesterday had his final say. And his final say was, all in all, the whole shit was childish. I could have been politically correct and went about the situation more civilized, but I'm not fake. This isn't an apology, just a reflection, people. Live your life, you'll mess up, you'll mess around and go blind looking at me all the time.
Well, I'm not mad at Chris Brown at all, honestly.
You like the drama.
I know, but it has nothing to do about the drama. These girls are in a position where they're sitting and talking about people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in the same position, and I get backlash from things that I say.
All the time.
All the time.
I just have to suck it up and accept it. For Tamar to sit there and, don't come at a grown woman this way. Like, girl, you don't act like a grown woman. You be sitting up there doing all these facial looking like a Muppet. So to sit there and you want to talk about a relationship that you don't know, you're sitting here talking about Karrueche being, a hoe, and her friends are telling her to stay with Chris Brown. Like, how do you know that? Like, does Tamar really know that? Or are you just saying what you think you might speculate off of this? And with Adrienne, it's like, first of all, Chris, I mean, both of them have careers. So for him to say that, but I mean, I understand where he's mad. Everybody in the world is talking about his relationship. They keep putting him down, so it's like the kid gets mad. I'm not mad at it. It's social media, first of all, so it's really not that serious. But why can they?
He didn't come up with a knife or a brick to throw at your car, so you should be glad.
So to me, it's like, why can Adrienne and Tamar talk about Chris and Karrueche, but Chris can't talk about Tamar and Adrienne? And Chris is only doing it on Twitter. He ain't even.
He can.
You know.
Obviously
I'm not mad at
I mean,
him.
I think it's a good point. I mean, actually, this time I've had my problems with the way Chris handles things, and I felt like he needed a father figure in his life to slap him down sometimes. But this particular time, I'm not mad at Chris because I think that, like you were kind of saying, they can talk about people on their show. You got to handle the backlash that goes along with that, and so. Did he take it a little extra far? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
He actually took it a little extra far. He didn't have to go in that much. But I'm not upset with him. I mean, they're talking about his
To me, it
on and
sounds
off.
like he let a gay boy write that.
Well, how do you get that in 140 characters?
Oh no! It was
That must have-
multiple.
that was a couple
And I was like,
Instagram and
How
tweets.
do you do this on Instagram? Are
Right.
they putting pictures and then just putting in the
Yeah,
comments?
how do you
Like,
do- yeah, you're right.
I don't do all
wait,
that.
I think
right.
I know the answer. You go on your phone and you go in
In
the
the
notes
memo
section,
thing, yeah.
the notes section, and then you screenshot it.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
there
exactly
you
what it
go.
is.
Well, all I have to say is, Chris, no, you need to sit down. I don't care. You got a right to be upset because they were talking about it.
Yeah.
Just come up with something like very articulate and brilliant. Real quick hashtag. Boo,
Yeah.
you don't have to go in calling them bitches and hoes and
No.
He
skank
wrote
ass
this on These Hoes Ain't
blah,
Loyal.
blah.
Well, because I feel like people would also more. I mean, now it's kind of like you pick a side, but I feel like people would be more drawn to him if he
Yes.
had. First of all, you know, the grammar, the articulate.
Thank you.
That too, because just when you were reading it, I was just thinking, grammar.
Hostile.
Grammar.
I'm just looking at it.
And then if he, said, look, you don't know my story. Both of us have careers, and you shouldn't go whatever it is.
Exactly.
You know?
Just keep it simple.
Simple.
Quiet.
And, yeah, quiet.
Shut 'em down.
You didn't even have to say anything, but if you're going to say something, just be simple and civilized, and people will show you the respect that you want.
Especially when you're the person straight up being upset that people continue to pigeonhole you based on what you did to Rihanna and your anger management. She was like,
that's
you
true.
I feel
can't
like the
continue
social
to do
media,
this
is
behavior.
why people keep doing this. So it's because of reactions like this that,
People
I
still
mean, he's
think you're
always in the
crazy.
news, and people think that.
People
so
think he's still
Well,
insane.
and it also feels a little bit of a bait. You know what I mean? Like they know that he's going to
wanted
have
him
it. They
to-
want him to act crazy.
that is true, and I feel like that's really sad too, because in all honesty, what he did to Rihanna was horrible. Absolutely. I mean, there's no word that says that's okay, but I feel like maybe he has changed or is trying to change
Yeah.
or whatnot. I mean, there has been some incidents, but I feel like everybody deserves a second chance, and I feel like he also hasn't been given that.
But he also keeps shooting himself in the foot.
That's true.
When you try
that's
to give
true.
him one.
Exactly. So it's kind of a give or take, but you have to give to show that you're responsible and that you're mature. And I
not
feel
an
like he
insane
just
person.
doesn't have the maturity. I mean
sorry,
that
boo.
we all want to see.
Just
Yeah,
grow.
I mean, I want to be on this
He has
side
so
for
much
this one.
potential.
I do,
I mean,
I
he's
do,
got
I
talent.
do want to be on this side for this one
I'm on his
because
side for
I might be
wanting
Team
to
Chris for this
defend
one.
himself and his girlfriend. The issue is the psychopathic way that he went about it, which is not acceptable based on his history. If he didn't have the history he had, it might not have been such a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this won't land him back in court or anything for anger management and all that stuff.
I'm just gonna have high hopes that he will get his stuff together. And, that's all I can do is I can just,
We gonna pray for you, boo.
yeah,
We
I
gonna
can just pray for him,
Come on, Black
Okay.
Hollywood Live and meditate.
Well, somebody that don't need
Maybe
no
not.
prayer right now is Kris Jenner, y'all, because she got her a new boo and she's
I'm
real
trying to get on
young.
this system.
And he is trying to, in that picture, he is twitching real sideways, and apparently they do lots of things sideways that please them both quite wonderfully.
Oy
So
vey.
his name is Corey Gamble. He's 33 years old. He is educated. He is working for Scooter Braun, which is Justin Bieber's manager. And Chris has met him.
Works for him doing what? Do we know?
yeah, do we know?
They met at the Ricardo Tisci's birthday party or something.
Okay.
They hooked up. They've been hanging out. They just came back from Mexico, celebrating life. She had her 59th birthday just yesterday and was at
She looks great
Disneyland,
for-
walking around in a onesie. But she looks happy. She's loving his attention. Word on the street is that they're both Scorpios. And according to
I
Hollywood
find out
Life,
Chris is a freak.
according to HollywoodLife.com, Chris has a big sexual appetite, and that she and Corey can't keep their hands off of each other. And also, apparently, apparently he doesn't pay for anything. Surprise, surprise. Chris is footing the bill for everything, like a true boss and a sugar mama, and he loves it, and so does she. The trips they've taken, all the excursions, travel costs, meals, drinks, etc., clothes, Chris has got it, and she is happy to be his sugar mama, and they are sugaring all over the city.
Translation, he is putting it down.
Like that.
That's all that
No
means.
comments.
I mean,
Putting her to sleep
look
every
who was
night.
fucking her before.
Oh, stop.
Now, also
Did
the
you
rumor
see
is
that?
Bruce has been caught wind of this relationship, and
seems
apparently
like
he
he
seems
winded.
like he's real upset by it.
Well,
and
why he gonna be upset? He's dating her best friend.
They say that he also is rethinking, this divorce. I'm like, well, it's a little bit too late for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Too late.
She done
once
tasted
you
it.
go
Once she
back,
done gone black, it ain't
you
Bruce.
ain't gonna
Sorry,
go back,
brother.
especially with you shaving down your Adam's apple and growing
Right,
out your
let your
wig.
hair grow out.
I don't know if she gonna
And
want
get
to
your
do
nails,
that. He painted his nails for
painted
his
his nails
birthday,
to
but
grow a
I
little
mean,
What?
Well, they said that he went.
he went to the nail studio and got his nails done.
Yeah, they were
Okay,
saying
black
they were
nails.
questioning if he was
black nails.
trying
I
to
was gonna
become a
say
lawyer.
some people
It might have
get
been a color.
manicures.
No, I'm
but-
not mad at manicures. It's just he was
He had
growing
nail
in like
polish.
full female-ish
Yeah, he
type
was-
of nails.
It was strange.
And they were questioning if he was transitioning
But,
into something else.
Even if he's happy, it's
Hey,
all good.
whatever. Hey,
Yeah,
whatever makes
to
him
each his
happy.
own. We're in Los Angeles. So.
Yes,
We're in
do
Los
what you
Angeles.
do, brother.
Just don't be mad at Chris.
Do what you do because Chris is obviously doing it real well too. So, in other news and ratchetry, Halle Berry is back in the news again because she is back in court trying to get her child support payments reduced to her baby daddy, Gabriel Aubrey, because right now she is paying $16,000 a
Crazy.
month, and she's trying to get it reduced to $3,800 because she said this fool can work, y'all. He does not need my money. But what Gabriel said was, girl, you remember back when your man, 2012, I brought the baby home and he basically jacked me up and jacked my face up. I'm too ugly to be a model anymore. So he can't get work supposedly because his face got jacked up. But his face kind of just looked like that now. But he says that his face is not workable in his modeling
as
business
chiseled.
anymore. But basically he's listed his expenses as follows, which is why he needs the money that he's getting. He spends $740 a month for fitness, $940 a month on clothing for himself. Nala's clothing is $675. That's their daughter. And then he spends $700 a month on health insurance and another $1,975 a month in car expenses. Boo, what you driving?
Right.
And another $1,100 a month in furniture and electronics. Those are the expenses that he listed. So
Get your life.
What about food?
rent, food.
How long have
Yeah.
they been?
They were together for 4 years.
They were together for 4 years. They've been apart for about 4.
Yeah, it's
It's
about
been
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
And she's now married to
And she
Olivier
has a son.
Martinez.
Yeah, she has a
and
son.
she just had her son.
Yep.
And the
But
fight happened 3 years ago.
the fight happened in 2012 in the
12,
holidays,
yeah.
so it's been 2 years. And he basically is living off her checks. Is it wrong, y'all?
Yes.
I mean, it's wrong, but and this is going to be a real messed up statement, but
Yeah, let's
women
hear
do
this.
it to men all the time. You know
That
what?
don't make it right.
I'm not saying it's right, but women do it to men all the time,
it's okay.
and it happens every day. So Holly just needs to pick the right man, because to me, she always has a history of something going wrong. Every relationship she has seems to end in a very negative way, and I can't
got
believe
that
that it's always
crazy
the
poon
man.
on.
And she is fine as hell, but I cannot believe that it's always the man.
I agree. I mean, in the end, to me, don't get me wrong, if I looked at him and I had to give him a $16,000 check every month, I would be really upset. Like, you need to get a job. This is ridiculous. However, child support is based on your salary and your income. Her income is insane.
She must be doing
so
some big
the
things.
point of the court is to make the child's living experience equal in
Yeah.
both places. And whether he's modeling now, he wasn't no supermodel when he stopped, so he's still not going to be making Halle Berry money.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can't be mad, and she can't be mad that $16,000. Yes, it would be nice if he got a job, but
Now,
legally and based on
Legally,
how
you're
they
right.
do it,
Yeah.
it's based on income and household, because they want the house to be as even as possible when the child is going back and forth from house to house.
Yeah.
So, girlfriend, you're going to have to get over that.
Now, the only thing I will give her, though, is that the TMZ did a comparison of, like, the timeline of when he first got beat up all the way to the current
Of his
state.
face?
Of his face. Now, his face was jacked.
It was messed
his
up.
face was
His
unrecognizable.
eyeball was back there.
Yeah, I mean,
It
it
was
was
black,
he
like,
looked
it was
very
awful.
disfigured.
Yeah.
Now, the current, of the last year pictures of him, I mean, he looks pretty much the same, so I don't know how he's saying that he can't get
But
any.
see, that's coming from your natural eye, from the eye of,
Of
somebody,
fashion
a photographer and stuff like
photographers
that.
and
His
everything.
symmetry could be jacked up,
You're
and that
right.
could be
Yeah.
a
You're
real
right. You're
thing.
right.
And he's older also.
I mean,
so.
it's really about where the cheekbones are and
Exactly.
everything. So, I mean,
And his
potentially if
cheekbone was
he
in
had,
his
you know,
butt,
plastic
so.
surgery, his face, if you have plastic surgery, especially to correct, you know, like a beating that bad, your face is going to change.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, I can definitely say he is fine. I mean,
good. He looks good.
But, you know, depending high fashion, maybe he's not as
Okay, but my
that
thing
could be
is,
But he's gonna go work somewhere.
being a model, you have to know that you are in the industry of if something happens to you, your career is done.
That's why he impregnated a rich girl.
Right.
Duh.
He knew what he was doing. And I'm sure that he's pissed off bitter that, you know, she's moved on with Olivier, and Olivier punched him in the face. I might
He has
keep a
been
little
there
bitter.
for 4 years.
Olivier stomped on him.
Yeah,
I mean,
Olivier
I think he's had like a couple of jobs, but it hasn't been
He's just saying
like
his major career
standard
is
My
income.
thing
Yeah.
would be like, well,
I mean, he was pretty big before in the modeling
he was
industry.
a top supermodel.
Yeah.
my thing is just like at this point, 4 years, and you ain't trying to sustain a household for your child. Like
Maybe he's going to college.
maybe Halle needs to think about trying to get her child.
That's not possible.
She
He
she's
hasn't done
saying
anything.
I
to
completely
take the
disagree
remote.
with that. I feel
if
like
you're
a child
not
has to be
working
with
for
both
4
parents.
years and you cannot support, and you're
But once again, we
banging
don't know
down
the
doors.
situation. We don't know
We
if he's
don't.
working or not. We
I
don't
believe
know.
he's
He
actually
said-
working, and he's just not pulling in
Yeah,
very
no,
much
he
money.
Right.
compared to Halle Berry, it looks like he's not working. But I mean, I can probably say even like you know, endorsement deals. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's got something going, but just it's in comparison to her. But I feel like if you're a good parent, I mean, I've like had family where they couldn't get a job for a year
Yeah.
because the job market is hard. If you think about modeling, I mean, what is he? 40
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
He's late
I mean,
30s, yeah, at least.
his modeling career is already going downhill, so he's got to think of plan B, which means, you know...
he's got plan B.
Okay. Well, I just feel like every child should, if they have a good parent, they should have the right to be with them whether or not their circumstances, because we don't know their circumstances.
And we don't know him for
But,
real.
and also, I mean, you hear different sides of the story, but...
And we all know Halle Berry crazy, y'all.
Right,
Let's
she's
be
a little
real.
cray-cray.
Let's be real.
All right, well, we wish Halle the best. And it will be
Yes.
interesting
Girl,
to see
but they
what
might
happens.
reduce it, but you still gonna be giving like $10,000.
I was going to say, I don't think they'll reduce
They
it
might
to like
reduce it a little bit.
where she's asking
The
for.
only time they really will reduce it is if something crazy happened or if she substantially dropped in income herself.
And that ain't happening.
And that ain't
Because I don't
gonna
think she'll let that
Yeah.
happen. So,
If you're
all
a
right.
parent, please support your child. With you.
Just, I mean,
Support.
think about it this way, Gabrielle.
Get off your ass.
Nobody wants to see their dad like just laying around off of mama's checks. Do something. Volunteer somewhere.
Something.
Maybe he volunteers at the
He
preschool.
probably, I was gonna say, he was the one like always with the girl.
I
like,
always
taking
saw
her
the
to school when she
pictures,
would
yeah, taking her
travel.
to school
So he's
and-
probably just a good stay-at-home dad, and I'm not
I mean,
mad.
sometimes people are. I mean, sometimes there's guys who they have the successful wife, and they do the grocery shopping, they do the cooking, they do the loving, and they're the cute
Right, but-
eye candy, but they're also the stay-at-home dad. And I feel like now in this time and age, it's more socially acceptable to be that way. It just kind of depends.
The problem is he ain't got no woman right now.
Yeah.
But see, that's
I
probably
need-
what
I need a
happened.
Halle Berry
They
in my
had a
life.
situation where they agreed. They were like, okay, you'll be with the baby because I'm going to still be working.
Right.
And then they broke up, and he was like, well, I'm still staying with the baby.
Right.
Just because you left me doesn't mean I'm not getting my checks.
That's right.
Hopefully
Well,
Halle Berry don't tweet me. And
Yeah.
Please, actually, Halle, please tweet me. All right, we're going to move on to the hot topics.
We'll talk about it after.
All right, we'll talk about that. We're going to move on to the hot topics, but before that, I want to remind everyone to go to iTunes, give us a rating and comment. You guys have been doing a great job with letting us know how you feel about our show.
Sure have.
Yeah.
You have. You've been going in on us. We love it, though. We want to hear the positive and negative to figure out how to give you the best programming possible that we can do. Courtney hosts a show called Fashion 401, which is on iTunes. Jesse has The Beat. We do a show together called Portraits, and the list goes on and on and on. We want to definitely know what you guys are thinking, so go to iTunes, go to Black Hollywood Live, give us a rating and comment, and we will make sure that we take that into consideration when we are giving you your programming. All right, on to the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Special sound effects.
Special sound effects. Well, one thing that has been making headlines in the news this week is former BET founder Bob Johnson is making his way in the news again because he is starting an urban movie channel. It's a digital channel that will feature urban-themed movies, launching under his RLJ Entertainment Group. So the urban channel will launch for free during the periods of now through 2/4 2015, so February 4th, 2015. There will also be special pricing for anyone who wants to come on board for the free installments. The titles launching on the channel include performances by Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx. I don't know why I said James Brown, because I just watched that documentary on HBO about him. Jamie Foxx, Charlie Murphy, and also a Dark Girls documentary, and the programming goes on and on and on. This is what Mr. Johnson said about the launch. He said, as founder of BET, I have gained a deep understanding and knowledge about African Americans and urban consumers and the entertainment content that appeals to them. He said, UMC, which is the Urban Music Channel, was designed so that the African Americans and urban creative community could directly reach consumers in a way that removes many of the restrictions associated with the legacy content development and distribution models. He said, I am convinced that urban consumers will gravitate to the economic and entertainment value of UMC. So what do you guys think about this new opportunity for this channel?
Move. And great move for filmmakers, too.
I'm in if it's free. I love free stuff.
We all love free.
We all do.
Yeah, apparently it's free until a certain amount of time, and they give you like a special rate that you can get and pay monthly.
I mean, like, everyone gonna make money.
Yeah, everybody can make money.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah.
And it's a good way to distribute movies
Definitely.
that won't often get very much distribution. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
cool.
great for, the independent artists out there as well.
Absolutely.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, now,
Bob.
It's kind of like the circle goes round.
Yeah.
now the only thing I hope is that, obviously Bob is the founder of BET, and
Yes.
we know how BET has gone through its transition, how BET started and how he sold it to Viacom and made billions, by the way, and how it's kind of changed its formula of what it is today. I'm curious to know what formula Bob's going to use for this movie channel. Is it old school BT Bob kind of formula, or is this going to be something fresh and new that we haven't seen
I'm
before?
sure he's got a little something fresh and new.
I'm sure he's got some tricks up
movie
his
business
sleeve.
right now, yeah.
The word urban interests me because
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
well, what goes in that box?
Because he don't want to say black.
Right, but so does that mean? Because I mean, I know
Urban is the new black.
You know
We
what I
talked
mean?
about
Urban
that.
is
so
the new
that's
black.
weird.
And it
accepting that.
includes like lots of things. It's the way to be including lots of things.
So like, would
Yeah.
East Los High be on there?
I would put it on there.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
sort of
right.
like the minority channel, but not calling a minority because we're not
MMC.
actually minorities anymore, sort of, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like brown people and the other.
Well, and I was also trying to think of like, okay, so we have Revolt, we have Aspire, we have Bounce, Centric, but none of those are just movie focused
channels.
only,
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I think there is a niche that needs to be
there's
filled for
definitely a
that.
market.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
All right, well, go Bob. We
Cash
will wait to
dollars.
see what happens with this, and you can go to the website as well and sign up to get your free trial. Okay, moving on. We just experienced midterm elections, and hopefully everyone voted who's listening out there right now or watching us. It was a very interesting election because at the end of the day, the Republicans took over the Senate and won control of the Senate. They said that this is the lowest turnout in years. They said actually 4 years ago it was an average of about 90 million who voted, and this time it was 83 million. So it was a significant difference.
Sad.
Yeah.
They say it's the lowest voting since in 36 years. But with that, of course, that people have been worried about what does this mean for the administration and for Obama and his camp. And the New York Post decided to put Obama as their cover subject in a very interesting format. So basically, if you look at the cover for New York Post, it shows a naked Obama with a wooden barrel and basically has stripped written on the bottom of it. So basically, they're insinuating that all of his power has been stripped. It's a clear insult, I think, to Obama. But they're saying that there might be some hope that because there was 2 African Americans elected into the
Bless
No,
you.
no.
wow, I was like,
Damn, girl, that was a power sneeze.
yeah, I was like, oh, the power sneeze.
Trying to hold on to it, and it just came.
Right, they're saying that there were two African Americans that were elected into the Republican Party, which is Tim Scott and also a woman by the name of Mia Love. That even though they're Republicans, that it still may be where they can help to kind of generate and keep the relationships going between the Democrats and the Republicans. Now, you don't believe that, apparently, Courtney, because your face says otherwise.
I just think it's going to be, we didn't expect, this was nothing unexpected that happened. Like, we knew that more than likely the Republicans were going to take the Senate again.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise. They have no interest in working with Obama, really. Come on. Like, I mean, if they pull anything off in the next 2 years, great. I'll be shocked to death. But my guess is it's going to be like status quo, like it has been, a hot mess and nothing happening like it needed to.
Well, I feel like it's also kind of like you have it in name, but nothing, you know, that's happening before. But I also, when I look at this picture, I just, it's so disrespectful.
Absolutely.
No matter what your beliefs are, nobody should be painted like that. I mean, it's distasteful too. I'm completely against it. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, what your beliefs are, I don't think anybody deserves that.
To me, it's like, just first of all, New York Post, like, okay, are you Star Magazine? Like, what is this?
Right.
It's so, okay, you know what it is? It's trashy, not classic.
Exactly. And, you know, but at the same time, they did this to Bush. They've done it to everybody.
They've done it to other presidents.
And this is my problem. It's just disrespectful. This is supposed to be the president of the United States.
Yeah.
I don't care how you feel them, you put it in words, but to do something like this, to me, is
it's
just
so
like,
sleazy.
what are other people looking at us? Like,
like, exactly, like you could be in Britain right now and you could be looking at this and being like, those crazy bloody Americans. It's really ridiculous.
You know, they make
and
funny
I mean, they could be
cartoons of the
like
Queen.
this, and they could just, they probably think we're nuts.
The British press is like worse than ours.
It's crazy.
Well, this is what Obama had to say about the whole Republican change. He said, I am not going to judge ideas based on whether they're Democratic or Republican. I'm going to be judging them based on whether or not they work. Obama is still pushing for lawmakers to quickly consider a proposal for $6.2 billion to help with the Ebola scare in the U.S. and in South Africa, as well as he wants to start a discussion about a new authorization to use military forces against extremists in the Middle East. There's been a temporary budget for the rest of the year that's been set, but they're hoping that maybe they can come to terms together and Republicans and Democrats can work together, because some are also fearing that the Republicans coming in could make some changes to some things that Obama's already implemented, such as the Obamacare, or budgets that cut some of his entitlement programs as well. So I don't know. They have a new guy, Mitch McConnell, who's the Senate Republican and majority leader. And now they initially said on Tuesday that basically Obama, they said, was throwing a little bit of shade towards the Republicans when he gave his speech, and he didn't seem inviting that he wanted to necessarily be open to their ideas of them bringing some things on board.
But they've been saying that since he's been in office. They're like, he doesn't want to hang out with us. Like, he doesn't come to our dinners. He's always at home by 6. Like, he doesn't want to socialize with us. That's why he doesn't get anything done. It's like, okay, so you should stop doing your job because your boss doesn't want to hang out with you and make it happen. So, okay,
but he did organize a lunch today, Obama, with several of the Republican teams, including Mitch McConnell. So hopefully they can get some agreements upon some things.
I would say the one thing that we have like hope for them actually like doing tasks and like getting something done is that they want to win the 2016 election. So they can't look like the Republicans that aren't doing anything and making nothing happen, because everybody's pissed off. Like, nobody cares, Republican or Democrat, we hate all of you because you're not doing anything. So they can't completely be jerks and like not do anything, because that's not going to bode well for them in 2 years. So I hope that is like the one spark of something that will make them be actively trying to accomplish something.
And to Obama's defense, like I said, they were saying that he was a little defensive about the initial suggestion of working with the Republicans on certain things. But Obama has said to them, listen, if you guys are going to critique what I'm doing, basically give me a result. You know what I mean? So he said, if you're going to come back with some solutions or come back with a program versus just being critical about what I'm doing currently. I'm not mad at him for that. I'm not mad at him for that.
Exactly. He's trying to get something done. If you don't like it, come up with a better idea.
So, all right, well, that's all we have for today. Because we already talked about the two new Republicans, so we just kind of combined it all in one. But where can your fans find you on social media, Courtney?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Starlet.
That was the longest lip open moment.
I don't, because you always catch me off guard, and I'm like, wait, oh yeah. My name is Stuart Starlet on Twitter and Instagram. Check me out.
At DJ Jesse J.
At Daryl Christian. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And our wonderful guest today, Hayley Gripp. Where can fans find you?
On Twitter, at Hayley Gripp, and on Instagram, at Hayley Gripp _official.
And then you just did Fashion Week as well.
Yeah, I walked the runway for LA Fashion Week, and then I flew the week after to New York Fashion Week and walked the runway there. But the really cool thing about it was that I'm not only an actress and a model and chef too, we'll get that in, but I'm a huge anti-bullying advocate because I overcame Tourette syndrome, and there's no cure to that. And when I forgave my bullies, the tics sort of kind of went away. And so I actually, during New York Fashion Week, we worked it in, and I gave an anti-bullying speech, and I was like walking down the catwalk like with my swagger and stuff, and I was like modeling, but then it like transitioned, and I just gave my speech, and I had so many people come up to me after and be like, I'm so glad you did that. And I feel like incorporating, you know, something positive. I mean, I'm also like 5'4", and I'm not a stick, so I feel like kind of transitioning that into it of, you know, being with taller models and whatnot, you know, I just think it's really great, and the response was so impeccable. I'm actually flying back to New York in 2 weeks I was asked to be a young adult board member for the Tourette Syndrome Association.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's really about just leaving a positive impact on this earth.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all have a choice. You can choose to be nice or choose to be mean. And bullying is a chain reaction. Once you break that chain, anything is possible.
There you go.
That's right. So break the chain,
Choose
and also
to be nice.
follow Hayley. Find out more what she's doing, because she's doing some amazing things, and
Yeah.
you know, this bullying needs to stop. So
Exactly.
For sure.
Being nice is cool.
being nice is cool. And also, the last thing is, remember to go to the buzzer meter question and answer the question for us, and we'll read the results next week. Do you think reality TV is a culprit in the destruction of the modern world? Let us know what you think. We will read those results, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about it. Have a wonderful weekend.
Peace.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.